Yo, what is up, guys? It's Pedro here. In today's video, I want to talk about Jacoby Jones, who I think could have a future with the Washington Commanders. Let's talk about it. If you guys are new, make sure to subscribe, hit that like button, and that notification bell as well, so you never miss a video. It is bye week, so not a lot to talk about, but I do want to talk about Jacoby Jones, who was called up from the practice squad to the roster to the game day roster against the Dolphins in Madrid on Sunday, and had a big catch in a clutch moment that should have iced the game for the Commanders if they had a good kicker or if they got a few more yards after that. But that's besides the point. I liked what I saw from Jacoby Jones. I want to talk about him and just overall some young players on this team that I want to watch and I want to see get more snaps, and Jacoby Jones is one of them. Treylon Burks is another one, and Jalen Lane. Those are the three in the receiving core. And, who knows, Ja'Cory Brooks as well. But Jacoby Jones only played 11 snaps, but earned a PFF grade of 92.1 in Week 11, making him the highest graded Commanders player in a game this season. Obviously a very small sample size, but a good grade there for him. I mean, a great grade for him. Had that really nice route, believe is a whip route. I can't remember exactly, but because I wasn't paying attention a lot to that game. I just was making sure that they were going to miss the kick because the Commanders, they need all the draft help they can get. But that was a great route, and is able to catch it and run a little bit afterwards. Got a 25-yard gain in his first game in the NFL after being an undrafted free agent out of UCF, I believe, and able to make a big catch. So for now, that's good, but from now on I want to see more from him, and more opportunities for him. Next week, or they got the bye week obviously this week. Next week, hey, don't rush back Terry. We know what we have from Terry. If he's healthy, he's going to be a good receiver for us. Let's see if any of these other guys can be NFL contributors. Jacoby Jones, Jalen Lane, Ja'Cory Brooks, Treylon Burks. I really want to see. I'm hoping after the bye week he is good to go. Those are the guys you really want to see rest of the way. So for me, that's kind of the situation there. We'll see if they end up shutting down Terry or not. They haven't put him on IR, but everything else is still kind of up in the air. They could still put him on IR, stuff like that. Yeah, that's kind of what we're waiting for, to see if they make that move, or if they kind of just wait and see to bring him back. But Jacoby Jones had a good game, so definitely wanted to shout him out a little bit there. Made that 25-yard catch. Real quick, we'll go over some of his stats. Jacoby Jones, UCF stats, just so you guys can get a little bit more information about him. He's a little bit of a bigger receiver, 6'3", I believe. Played at Ohio and had some really good production his freshman year. I guess his senior year. I don't know if where he played before, maybe JUCO or a bunch of redshirt years. Had a really good year, 800 yards, 6 touchdowns, and next year only able to play in 3 games, but 150 yards. Similar production. The touchdown production is not there, but the yards per game. And then this past year, not great production. 22 catches, 327 yards, and 2 touchdowns. So that's kind of the information on Jacoby Jones, 6'3", 228 pounds. And, Ja'Cory Brooks definitely had better college production, played better in the offseason. But, hey, right now they're kind of looking for Jacoby Jones. And for them, he's been better in practice and stuff like that, or they just want to give him a shot. So Jacoby Jones has been played on Sunday for the Commanders and showed a little bit. So that's cool. Now let's see what he can do the rest of the season. And then same thing with Treylon Burks. Treylon Burks showed a lot. Had 58 yards in his last game against the Lions. And the week before that against the Seahawks, had a nice catch in his first game. So just baby steps with those guys. Let's see what they can do. And you just have a lot of young guys. Let's see which ones stick, which ones don't. You want to have as many of those guys on the roster as possible that are maybe not stars, because realistically, Jacoby Jones is not going to be a star. Same thing with Ja'Cory Brooks and, probably Treylon Burks and Drake Jackson, who, they signed. But if they can be contributors and maybe even starters, those are huge wins for guys that, they either sign off the streets like Treylon Burks and Drake Jackson, or, Jacoby Jones, who they signed as an undrafted free agent. So they would be big wins if any of those guys could be contributors. So I'm excited to see what they can do the rest of the way. And they're all gonna be free agents, I believe, but they can bring them back pretty easily, pretty cheap. I think out of those three, though, definitely Traylon Burks has a lot of more potential, just being a first round pick. And then also, Drake Jackson as well, former second round pick, has some potential as well. So real quick, before we talk about some other young players and the kicking situation, a word from today's sponsor. And a huge shout out to Sleeper for sponsoring today's video. Make sure you guys check them out. They got a free $20 entry play that you can do. You can also use my promo code Pedro and get a 100% match up to $100. Link is in the description for that. There's a Monday Night Football game today. Dallas Cowboys against the Las Vegas Raiders, and we're anyways you don't really want to root for a division rival, but then also the Raiders winning would help our draft pick as well. So that's a game you can make picks on and win real money. So make sure you guys check out Sleeper, link in the description. Alrighty, so now let's talk about the kicking situation, some other young players as well. So Commanders released Matt Gay. I was going to maybe make a video, but I just had posted the other one about the draft order, so check that out. A lot of draft information there. So they released Matt Gay and signed Jake Moody off the Bears practice squad. Almost also made a video about that. So good move, in my opinion, in, two different fronts. One is Matt Gay was not good for us, and he needed to be gone. So good getting rid of him. Probably, what is it, the 11th game that we just played? Probably 11 games too late, but they made the move. And then also, they signed Jake Moody, who is a young guy, drafted in the 3rd round, I believe. So that is a good move for the Commanders. I don't care what his success has been in the past, because here's the thing, guys. We're not trying to win games. If we win games, whatever, that's not good for our draft status. But, the Commanders aren't, try-harding. They're not signing a bunch of these veterans to win games. They're, the coaches are going to try to win games, but it's about, development here and getting these young guys and seeing who can be a part of the future. So if Jake Moody, if he can be a future kicker for the Commanders, that would be great. Again, 3rd round pick, this guy out of Michigan, very, very talented. Let's see what he can do. And if he's bad, then whatever. They had a bad kicker regardless. And something else I want to say is, Adam Peters gave the most money in, I believe, NFL history to any kicker, and at least for 1 year. And that kicker was terrible. So he was bad, and Brandon Manis, that situation was bad. And also, he just hasn't, he was good last year, but he hasn't been good this year for the Packers. So that is another thing. The Commanders cannot, the Commanders cannot get draft picks correct. They just can't. They can't get kickers correct. And it's not just this regime, this owner, this coaching staff, whatever. It's been so many kickers, their last kicker that was okay for a while was Dustin Hopkins. And even he had his shaky moments, missed a lot of big kicks or important kicks for the Commanders. So, it's been a long time. Like Kai Forbath, he had a really good rookie year. That's the last, one in a while, in my opinion. So the Commanders, let's see what they get with Jake Moody. He did pretty well when they played us and had a game winner. Missed one kick, but the conditions weren't great, and made the game winner, made some other tough kicks. So shout out to Jake Moody. Hopefully he has a good season for us, and that's one position you can cross off the board. Like I said, hopefully that's one position you can cross off the board, because again, that position has been, we've had it's just a carousel of kickers and quarterbacks, but kickers. You filled the quarterback spot, let's fill the kicker spot, and that will make the rest of the season a success, in my opinion, for the Commanders, is getting that kicker of the future and finding some of these other guys. Like I said, Drake Jackson, Jacoby Jones, Traylon Burks, Jalen Lane, guys like that. Ja'Cory Brooks, see who steps up. We obviously, not all of them are going to, but if you can get 1 or 2 of those guys to be contributors, that's a win. That's a huge win, because again, you put almost no assets into those guys besides Jalen Lane. So if you get anything out of them and get a contributor or a starter out of them, that's a good move. And then some other young guys I want to see play more. Benson, really unfortunate he wasn't able to play against the Dolphins. And then you got some other guys as well. Johnny Newton, kind of have lost hope for him being a disruptive player. But if we can get a, fringe starter out of him, okay, maybe a starter eventually. Jordan McGee, let's continue to see more from him. Like I said, Jalen Lane, Josh Connerly, that reminds me, I got to make a video about him. He's had a good last few weeks. Started out pretty rough, but bounced back. So Josh Connerly, shout out to Josh Connerly, because he's had a good season, good bounce back for sure, and definitely want to give him those props for that. So that's kind of it for today's video. Hope you guys did enjoy. If you did, hit that like button, subscribe if you guys new, and make sure you guys check out Sleeper. Peace.